As we gather, we are reminded that the town of Bonnyville is situated on Treaty 6 land that is steeped in rich Indigenous history and is the traditional homeland and home to First Nation and Métis people today. We respect the histories, languages, and cultures of First Nation, Métis, and all First People of Canada whose presence continues to enrich our community. Council, before us, we have an amended agenda, one with an addition of 7H. If we can look for a motion, Councillor Blanchette.
I will move adoption of the agenda as amended with the addition of 7H.
Thank you. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. All right, we've got the meeting minutes from May 26, 2026. Were there any changes to those minutes as they've been presented? No? Motion to accept then, please. Councillor Johnson.
I'll make the motion to accept the minutes of May 26, 2026 as presented.
All in favor? Carried. Okay, first up on our agenda is we've got a delegation called Lake Farwing. Welcome. If you don't mind coming. Yep, absolutely. Please do. Yeah.
If you don't mind, I'm going to stand.
Okay. Yeah.
Thanks so much. I'm Commander Forwing and CFP Colleague Mark Hickey. Pleasure to be here for those of you who haven't met. Chief Warrant Officer Oliver is my command team partner, the Wing Chief. We wanted to come here today in front of you, your worship, and all your peers and the people you work with here to present. So I'm going to hold up. I don't know if you videotape or on camera, but this is a very special point. The 100th anniversary of the Royal Canadian Air Force. The Air Force only made 100 of these points. So there's only 100 in the world. And they went to all the wing commanders and base commanders and across the country. And they said, we want you, they gave me a very, very small amount. I could probably count them on that hand. And they said, we want you to think about the influential people around you who represent the Royal Canadian Air Force and its values and give you support in your mission from day to day. So I sat down, we had a discussion, and we very quickly came up with our desire to recognize the town of Bonnyville for everything you do for CFP Cold Lake. And we know a lot of our members live in your fine town, and for its leadership, because we always wanted to recognize the same values that the RCF has, which we think are values of inclusion, excellence, accountability, loyalty, integrity. So with that, myself and the Wing Chief chose you, your worship, Mary Lisa Rousseau. If you wouldn't mind coming around, or I can come there, however you want to do this. This is how we normally do it. Thank you so much for your support for the Royal Canadian. Very much appreciated.
Like, I'm speechless. I'm completely honored. Thank you. It really is an honor. Actually, when I first got on council back in 2017, we worked then with that council to start building relationships and continuing relationships with Four Wing. And I'm really happy with this council, the last term and this term, we continue to build that relationship. As you mentioned, a lot of your members, pass through Bonnyville, do a lot through Bonnyville, but it's also to help, the next generations to know that, there is a place for them should they wish, with over at Four Wing and the jobs and the, the opportunities that they can have there. So
Absolutely.
I'm super proud and honored to accept this, and I do accept it on behalf of my entire council, all the work that we're doing.
Well, thank you so much for your support, your worship, and we look forward to seeing you at the air show and at the change of command. We really do appreciate the support from you, all the councillors, and the town of Bonnyville. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh my God. I'm far. Yeah, we should. Let's do a picture. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we'll do it in front here with all of council. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll just go right
You
here and
tell
then
me
we've
where to
got
go over there. Okay.
Oh, okay.
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 I don't know. Thanks so much for the support. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. Thank you. Look forward to seeing you on yours. Thank you. I'd like to stay for some more seconds. I would never.
You guys know? Who knew? Oh my God. You did, Tracy? Oh my God. I don't know how I'm going to continue now. All right, thank you. That was a super lovely surprise. And like, I do stand by my words that I think this team, we've all done a really good job of opening those doors, and it's showing, and yeah, thank you. Okay, let's continue on. Motion to move into MPC. Counselor Sharoon.
I'll give you that motion, ma'am.
All in favor? Thank you. Okay, where am I at here? All right, we've got our agenda for MPC. Any additions or changes to that agenda?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't believe there's any omissions or additions at this time.
Okay, motion to accept the agenda then. Counselor Blanchette.
I'll move adoption of the agenda as presented.
All in favor? Carried. Next, we have the meeting minutes from May 26th. Were there any changes to those? No? Motion then to approve those, please. Counselor Johnson?
I will make that motion to accept the minutes from May 26th.
All in favor? Carried. All right. First order, proposed development permit.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Early 2026, council approved an amendment to the land use bylaw number 1447-16 to add auto service minor as a discretionary use within the C2 Fringe Commercial District. Subsequently, administration did receive a development permit application for the construction and operation of an automotive detailing shop on the subject lands. The proposed use is classified as auto service minor under the land use bylaw. Administration has reviewed the application and determined that the proposed development generally complies with the regulation, standards, and requirements of the land use bylaw 1447-16 as amended, with the exception of the minimum setback requirement applicable to the driveway access on the corner lot. The land use bylaw requires that a driveway crossing not be located less than 10 meters from corner lot of a property line adjacent to an intersection. The proposed development includes one overhead door access located approximately 8.9 meters from the front property line, resulting in a setback deficiency of 1.1 meters or 11%. Although the deficiency is minor in nature, administration is of the opinion that the proposed building should be shifted approximately 1.1 meters to the south in order to improve sight lines for vehicles turning from the roadway and to reduce visibility concerns and site access. Relocating the building in this manner would eliminate the need for the variance and improve sight lines on the adjacent road. In accordance with the statutory notification requirements, 35 adjacent landowners were notified of the application, and we had not received any responses. Desired outcomes: to ensure orderly, safe, and compliant development within the C2 Fringe Commercial District, to consider and render a decision on a discretionary use application in accordance with the land use bylaw, and to support appropriate commercial development while ensuring compatibility with surrounding land uses and safe site access. The response options for council this evening is to approve the development permit application as submitted with the 11% variance for the northmost access, approve the development permit application 26D0025 subject to the conditions including the revisions to the building location to ensure compliance with the land use bylaw and improve site visibility. C, the developer could consider modifying the building design so the south door is at least 10 meters from the north of the south property line. Refuse the development permit application provided written reasons for the refusal in accordance with the MGA and applicable bylaws. Or you can table the application for future meeting if more information is required. It's the opinion of the administration that the Municipal Planning Commission approved development permit application 26D0025 with the revised building locations and subject to the provided conditions.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for administration on this? No? Okay, Counselor Kushner?
Thanks, Madam Mayor. Through to administration. So I'm getting this straight. We're moving the building back to the south. Is that correct?
Yes, that's what I would like to see, is move it back 1.1 meters. That'll give it about 2 meters setback from the front property line.
And that's for sight lines for traffic. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Okay. Now, is that going to affect the sight lines for traffic on that alley that's right behind there then?
no, because he's still 6.5 meters from the rear property line.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Counselor Johnson?
Through to administration. So with moving the building back, the 1 meter, are you concerned about the size of the parking spaces then being too short?
Our minimum requirement is 6.1 meters for a parking stall. So they're going to be at about 6.6 meters, I think, would be the rear.
Okay. Okay, good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Counselor Schern?
Yes, through to administration. So just to be clear, that that is one of the recommendations, is to approve the development permit subject to the conditions, which would make it then legal, correct? Like, and with that being on the main street like that, you know, if there was ever a situation where sightlines were involved, we wouldn't be liable by approving something other than what is the norm, correct?
Correct. And if it wasn't on a corner lot, this setback wouldn't have been such an issue. But I drove around and I checked out Remax, Métis Housing, a few other places where I knew the frontage was up there. And anything that was close to the front property line, sight lines were a little bit impeded, so.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Counselor Blanchett?
Just one, Madam Mayor. I see that the adjacent landowners were notified. Has the applicant had any issue with this change?
I haven't discussed it with Anthony yet.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? No. Looking for a decision then, please. Counselor Kushner?
Thanks, Madam Mayor. I would make the motion that we go with the town's recommendation to approve permit application 26D0025 with the revised building locations and all of the different requirements, conditions. Thank you. I think it's a perfect place for it, right across from that car wash. Yeah, and I love the look of the building, so I'm behind it 100%.
Okay, motion on the floor. Any questions? Counselor Langridge?
So, if I may, Counselor Kushner, are we looking to go with option B?
We're looking to go with the recommendation by administration.
Okay.
That's what my motion is saying. With the conditions that are there.
Oh, yes, sorry. I was looking at something different. Yeah. Yep. You good? Okay. Yeah. Okay, all in favor of the motion? That's carried. And I'll get a motion to move out of MPC and move back into regular meeting. Please, Counselor Langridge.
I'll give you that motion, Madam Mayor.
All in favor? Carried. Okay, next, under new business, 2026 policing priorities.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'll defer this over to Dan Heaney.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Earlier in 2026, Staff Sergeant Pinson of the Bonnyville RCMP Detachment requested a list of priorities from Council on which to focus local policing efforts. Council forwarded the request to the Community Policing Committee for discussion and recommendation. Through a process of defining issues and then voting, Community Policing Committee completed a ranked list of 8 policing priorities. Number 1, property crime. Number 2, prolific offenders. Number 3, traffic safety. Number 4, mental health. 5, community involvement. 6, violence against intimate partners or vulnerable persons. 7, bylaw issues, and 8, encampments. The Community Policing Committee, through unanimous approval, recommends that council approve this list of policing priorities to the staff sergeant of the local RCMP detachment.
Thank you. Any questions on this recommendation? Councillor Schroen?
Yeah, I've got a two-part question here through to administration. So how are these focuses going to be actioned? Like, what's the percentage of time in our community through the local RCMP? And do they work in conjunction with our peace officer?
Through you, Madam Mayor, to council, as far as the strategies are concerned, that is not the place of the policing committee to determine those strategies, although we are always available to our local partner agency, the RCMP, to give them ideas. And to, yes, they ultimately those policing priorities, other than anything that completely falls outside of the scope of our local protective services department, they will be used in conjunction.
Thank you.
Good question, thank you. Any other questions? No? Okay, we are looking for a motion. Councillor Johnson.
All right, I will make the motion that council approve the list of the 2026 policing priorities and direct administration to forward to Staff Sergeant Pinson of the Barneyville RCMP detachment.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Next, letter support Built Together grant application.
I'll hand this over to Brad over here. Thank you.
Madam Mayor. So the town is preparing an application for the Built Together grant through Alberta Blue Cross for funding towards replacing the existing tennis courts. The courts are reaching the end of their useful life and will require full reconstruction. The estimated project cost is around $200,000 and was based around pricing from the pickleball court construction from a few years ago. As part of the grant requirements, 3 letters of support are required in the application, and the grant deadline is September. The recommendation is that council approves the submission of an application to the Alberta Blue Cross Grant Program for the replacement of the tennis courts and provide a letter of support for the application.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Councillor Schroen?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Through administration. So if we are successful for that grant, if we get the, we've got the 120 earmarked already. If we get 55, we're still like $25,000 short. If we get that grant, will we be able to hold off the project until next year? And number 2, have we contacted the school divisions to perhaps cost share some of that with us as well?
So to the first question, so this is based on a 30,000 per year allocation. So we're at 120,000 now. If next year, you know, we contribute the 30,000 plus the 55, that brings us right around that mark. So it could be then funded from that. And as far as a cost sharing, we haven't reached out to the school board to see if there's any interest.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Langridge?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just more of a question on this one, not so much about the grant application, but would we make could you make the tennis courts double as additional pickleball courts? And you might not have the answer. I'm just more curious than anything.
Yeah, I don't have the answer right now, but I would think it's within the realm of possibility. It's not, you know, pretty similar uses, I would say.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? No? All right. Councillor Langridge?
I will give the motion, Madam Mayor, for staff recommendation.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Next, sponsorship request for the Gilgrand George Strait Tribute event.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Attached is an email with a poster from Ray Lassard, who is in partnership with Parton Productions requesting sponsorship for the Gil Grand George Strait tribute they are bringing to the Centennial Center on August 15th. This is a for-profit event that will provide donations to local charities within the area. This request would fall under the event sponsorships and donations policy. The ticket prices do range from $75 to $112.50 each. A table of 8 would range from $600 to $900. Administration is requesting that council provide direction on if they would like to attend this event, and if so, how many tickets they would be required.
Okay, thank you. Council, questions, comments? Councillor Blanchett?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, through to administration. For clarity, this is this through the Oilmans?
No, it is not.
Okay, thank you.
Separate event.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? Councillor Johnson?
Through to administration, by chance, do we know if 100% of the proceeds from this go to charitable organizations other than paying their costs for the event?
Based on the information that I did receive, this is a for-profit event for the people that are putting it on. They will be providing some donations to local charities, but I don't believe all of the funds will be.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Comments? Councillor Blanchett?
Sorry, through to administration one more time. So it falls under the event sponsorships and donations policy. Have they completed any forms related to that grant stream?
That particular policy does not require any forms, just a letter or an email and a
Okay.
poster.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, council. Yeah, without a lot of information in regards to, really who they'll be donating to, it makes it a little bit difficult to support it. I think it would be a great event, and I like supporting the Oilmans, but as it's not necessarily an Oilmans event, is it something we really want to get into? I'm not entirely sure. Councillor Langridge?
No, I completely agree, Madam Mayor, with the direction here. I believe if any of council wanted to attend, they could do so on their own, would be my recommendation. Now, with that, seeing you, I believe I could not make a negative motion on that. Or would you be able to?
No, you can just accept it for information.
Okay. Then that's what I would motion that council accept for information.
Any discussion on the motion? Any questions? No? Okay, all in favor of the motion? Carried. Thank you. Okay, next, request for property tax penalty relief.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Attached is an email from G. Da requesting that council consider reducing or waiving property tax penalties associated with the property that they purchased on May 21st, 2025. The owner advises that as a new resident to Canada and first-time homebuyer, they misunderstood the property tax process and were unaware that they were responsible for the 2025 property taxes. The owner further indicates that they did not receive the reminder notices and only became aware of the outstanding taxes upon receiving the 2026 notice on May 19th. A tax certificate was issued to the lawyer on March 27th, 2025. The 2025 tax notices were mailed on May 16th, 2025. As the land title transfer was not received until June 2025, the tax notice was issued to the previous owner. The statement of adjustments prepared as part of the property transaction should have outlined the responsibility for payment of property taxes for the 2025 year. As the taxes remain unpaid as of June 30th, 2025, in accordance with bylaw number 1489-19, penalties of 2% were applied each month from July to December. A property tax reminder notice was issued on December 10th, advising that an additional 15% penalty will be applied on January 1st. The total penalty amount applied to this account was $737.58. The town fulfilled its notification obligations by publishing notice in Lakeland Today in May and June of 2025. Under the MGA, property owners are deemed to have received notice through this publication. Administration is recommending that council deny the request for property tax penalty relief for roll number 177200 as the penalties were applied in accordance with bylaw number 1489-19 19 and the MGA.
Thank you. Any questions for administration? This request. Councillor Blanchette?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't have a question for administration, more so just commentary for all of you. I can sympathize with the resident that they are first-time home buyers, and I think we all know that when you purchase property, there's a lot of information thrown at you. But that's why we hire lawyers to walk us through purchase transactions. I would suggest that that would be the responsibility of their solicitor to advise them of their obligations as property owners. So I would not be in favor of waiving these penalties.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments on this request? I would also agree, although I sympathize, I just don't think we want to set precedents. It sounded like as administration, we took all the necessary processes and that we do in-house, and I think by accepting this, we would just create a precedence that I don't know. I wouldn't suggest we would want to start. But yeah, we are looking for a decision, Council.
I will move the staff recommendation that council deny the request for property tax relief, property tax penalty relief for the cited roll number.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Next, 2026 roads repair program.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So the town recently received pricing for the roads repair and maintenance program. This tender consists of various road and concrete repairs, water and sewer replacements, intersection improvements, and a lagoon valve replacement. Tender submissions were received from 2 contractors with a planned completion date of September 25th. The key issue is that prices are higher than originally anticipated, and the current budget provides little in contingency. Options include awarding the program with reallocated funding from the Sewer Capital Reserve and the General Capital Reserve, which is recommended, maintaining current funding and tasking administration with removing adequate project scope, or not awarding the repair program at all. The recommendation is that council award the 2026 roads repair program to E-Construction and reallocate $250,000 from the General Capital Reserve and $160,000 for the Sewer Capital Reserve. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any questions on this request? Councillor Blanchette?
Sorry, I thought Councillor Sharoon's hand was up. Through to administration, I am wondering what are currently in each of those reserves.
Through to Councillor Blanchette. Under the sewer reserve, there was about $166,000, and under the general capital, there is $2.4 million.
Thank you.
Councillor Sharon?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Through to administration, are any of these projects for Main Street specific, or that was passed in the fall, not under this program?
Yeah, Main Street is not included in this project.
Thank you.
Okay, Councillor Langridge?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Through to administration. So with this year's roads repair program, the projects that were carried over from last year, now are those fully funded and the prices were held at those existing prices? Or are some of these existing programs from last year that were not completed that now have an adjusted price?
The program from 2025 was fully funded and are not included in this.
Okay, so these are strictly new projects that we are tackling 2026.
Correct. New infrastructure replacements, valves, catch basins, outfalls, manholes, things like that. Yeah.
And so I'm trying to remember now, in the past, I don't remember our costs being inflated this much. Usually we're pretty bang on our predictable approved budget on the opinion of probable cost. Did they explain, or do we know why we were so short on our budgeting this year?
Well, we're always asking questions after we get prices that aren't reflective to our estimate. And it seems like it's funny. It's funny, like it's kind of contradictory in a way where it seems like the contractors don't have a lot of work, but at the same time, they're very much impacted by all of the inflationary pressures lately. And from our best guess, that's what it is, unfortunately.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you. Counselor Kushner?
Thanks, Madam Mayor. So we issued the tender, only 2 replied. So in our bylaws, is that copacetic, or do we need 3?
So this meets our purchasing policy. It was posted on APC. It was on BuildWorks. Lots of so it was public for any competitor to bid on.
Mhm.
And we only had two prime contractors, which isn't atypical year over year. Like that's somewhat normal actually for us for this program. And they had. And we kind of leave it to them to get pricing from their subs as well. And, it's, so it is competitive. It is competitive.
Okay. So further to Councillor Langridge's comment, so this doesn't happen very often. So you think this is an anomaly, or this is what's going to be happening going forward, because everything's going through the roof as we see, right?
Hard to say. Yes. You wouldn't think going in the middle of COVID, we didn't think that was permanent, but it kind of turned out to be.
So would there be any benefit to go back to this tender? First of all, we wouldn't get it done in September, I'm assuming, so that would hinder us. And then who knows what the prices are going to be like next year. So in your opinion, which I see here already, but still, would you think there would be any benefit at all?
No, I mean, if we thought we would get better pricing in a month or whatever, the recommendation wouldn't be this.
Right.
Sorry, Councillor Kushner, we would also advise on that once a tender has been conducted, we can't actually redact and go backwards. Now that it's been put out and these proponents have put their pricing list forward, we would have to cancel the project and cancel the tendering process and start over from scratch. We wouldn't be able to actually go back and ask for repricing or allow additional time for other contractors to bid, because that would be unfair to those that have submitted on the due dates and the due deadlines that were provided. So yeah, it would put us in a legal position that we wouldn't be allowed to do that without actually canceling the project completely and then redoing the project itself.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, okay. Great questions, thank you. Any further questions, conversation? We are looking for a decision, council. Okay, go ahead, Councillor.
I'll make the motion that council award the 2026 roads repair program to E-Construction and reallocate $160,000 from the capital sewer reserve and $250,000 from the general capital reserve.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Okay, next, request for letter of support.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The town of Bonnyville has received a correspondence from Cold Lake First Nations advising of the indefinite closure of Mission Road Bridge on Range Road 423 due to erosion and structural instability caused by rising water levels. Cold Lake First Nations considers this a critical access route for their community, and the closure has resulted in traffic being diverted to alternate routes around, including Range Road 224 to Frog Lake Road. This has increased traffic volumes on surrounding infrastructure not designed for sustaining high usage, contributing to accelerated wear, reduced viability due to the dust, and increased safety concerns. Cold Lake First Nation has requested regional awareness, collaboration, and support as they work with Indigenous Services Canada on emergency response and repair planning. At this time, this commitment from the town of Bonnyville would take supports intended to be in principle only and only limited to advocacy and regional collaboration. The town would not be advocating with Cold Lake advocating with Cold Lakes First Nation as a regional partner, not advocating on their behalf, but would not be assuming responsibility for issues or its resolution financially.
Okay, thank you. Any questions on the request? Councillor Schroon?
Yes, Madam Mayor, thank you. Through to administration, everything what you said, I have no issues with this letter of support, but on the second last paragraph of the letter, it does say, further, this support is provided with a clear understanding that it carries no financial commitment from the town of Bonnyville, which I agree with. However, the second sentence, any future considerations involving financial participation would be subject to a separate review and approval by council. I don't know if that should be in there. Just my...
Oh, I was looking at the wrong letter.
And yeah, I just would like to see what administration has to say on that, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'll just maybe jump in there.
Sorry, I'm reading.
I would agree with Councillor Schroon that we could take that sentence out of the letter and make it a little bit more clear. And then if there are any additional further requests in the future, they can just come as a separate item to council.
Yeah, like reading it through again, I mean, we can just make it very specific. This is advocacy only. We don't need to go into all of that. I agree. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so we are looking for no, just direction. So we're okay with going ahead with this letter?
Madam Mayor, we would need a motion.
Want a
It just
motion?
would be an amended letter
Okay.
as provided.
Anybody want to put that motion forward? Councillor Schroon?
Yes, Madam Mayor, I'll give you that motion to provide support with the amendments that I just spoke about.
Okay, all in favor? Carried. Okay, next, sponsorship opportunity, Kingpin's bowling alley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Attached to the letter from Kingpin's Bowling Alley inviting the town of Bonnyville to participate in a sponsorship opportunity. The proposal outlines a one-year partnership that includes advertising and community engagement components. As part of the sponsorship package, the town would receive year-long promotional exposure through signage within the bowling facility, recognition during league events, and inclusion in sponsor community events. The proposal also includes discounted rates for facility rentals and group bookings. The total cost for the sponsorship package is $1,560 for a one-year term. The desired outcome is council to consider and provide direction to administration regarding the proposed sponsorship request for Kingpin's Bowling. At this time, recommendation is that council provide direction to administration regarding the proposed sponsorship opportunity with Kingpin Bowling Alley.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments in regards to this request, Councillor Blanchett?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Through to administration. Does this fall on the same sponsorship grant stream as the one previous that requires nothing other than a letter?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Through to the councillor, it would, yes.
Thank you. And if I may, Madam Mayor, I just have a comment. I think that for these requests that come in later, it would be really nice for us to start setting a precedent that people come when we're budgeting earlier in the year and ask for their sponsorships for the year. We've talked about that for a while. I mean, we just passed final budget and here we are getting another request. And that's besides the fact that it's a for-profit organization, but those are my comments.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Yeah, for me, this is a tough one. I mean, it's like the previous one. I love that it's doing something for the community. I love that it's recreation and getting people and families out potentially. It's just, do we then start opening the door for, continued requests for businesses that are for profit? And that's the hard part that I'm having with this. So I don't know. Councillor Johnson?
I would agree with you on that. We sponsor more bigger events that draw people to town for special events, mainly for nonprofit. To advertise in a business year round doesn't kind of fall underneath that type of thing of what we do, in my opinion, but I don't know. I wouldn't be in favor of it.
Any other, Councillor Kushner?
Yeah, thanks, Madam Mayor. I'm of two minds of this as well. I like the free bowling Sundays. I think that's a recreation opportunity, and we are in recreation. Like, we're already at the C2, we're already putting money towards recreation. And I'd kind of like to see that there, but at $1,560, that's a fair chunk of change for us to put out to a for-profit business. That's and so, like, yeah, I'm torn because I want to see our residents have things that don't cost money to go and do. But then we also have to watch the precedents, and it's a tough one. It's a tough one. So yeah.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Okay, we're looking for a decision then. Right, you want a decision on this, not just direction? Okay. All right, council, anybody want to make a motion? Okay, Councillor Johnson?
I'll make the motion that we deny the request.
Okay. All in favor? Carried. All right, our walk-on attendance, Highway 28 safety improvements.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The town of Bonnyville has received correspondence from the municipal district of Bonnyville, number 7087, requesting representation from the town at the upcoming information session hosted by Alberta Transportation and Economic Corridors. The session relates to proposed safety improvements along Highway 28, including infrastructure upgrades and potential changes affecting regional connectivity. The information session is scheduled for June 24th, 2026 from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Smoky Lake Agricultural Complex. The session will include project details, construction timelines, and opportunities for stakeholder engagements. Additionally, the province has issued public notification regarding the proposed improvements, which include intersection upgrades, lighting enhancements, and other safety-related measures intended to improve traffic flow and reduce collision risk along the corridor. The recommendation at this time is that council provide direction to administration regarding the attendance and representation at the Alberta Transportation and Economic Corridors information session scheduled for June 24, 2026.
Okay, thank you. I guess I'll go first. I think personally, I think it's important for as many of us as we can attend to be there, as we've been on this portfolio for quite a few years, and this will not include the area from Smoky Lake all the way to Cold Lake, but at the same time, I think it shows our support and gives us an opportunity to ask questions on the larger project should, you know, if the opportunity arises. So I'd like to see, I will go for sure, and it'd be nice to have a group of us go if you guys are available. That's my comments. Agreed? Okay. Then maybe we'll just ask administration to send out a calendar invite, and then whoever can attend. Yeah. Yeah. And then I don't know to CAO Winfleet in-house if yourself and anybody else who wanted to attend. Public Works.
Yeah, I will talk to staff and we'll make sure we have some presence there as well.
Good idea. Thank you. Okay, committee reports. We'll start with Councillor Blanchette.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. May 27th, I attended a webinar with the Government of Alberta regarding the transition of the provincial AISH program to the new Alberta Disability Assistance Program. I attended that as the FCSS AA president, as Alberta Supports will be the primary point of contact for Albertans navigating those changes. FCSS programs tend to fill service gaps in rural Alberta. So I was there to understand the potential impacts of those changes. May 28th and 29th, I attended the Northeast Regional Spring FCSS gathering hosted here in Bonnyville. Thank you to Madam Mayor and Deputy Mayor for attending and bringing greetings. And a big thank you to our local FCSS staff for their work in executing that event. June 1st, I attended the organizational meeting of the Friends of the Bonnyville Library Society. June 2nd, I had the opportunity to provide a community tour to a physician who will be joining Bonnyville this fall, and their family had great positive feedback for our community, so we look forward to welcoming them. June 2nd, I attended what should have been a FCSS board meeting, but due to lack of quorum, it was informational updates only. No formal business was conducted. June 3rd to the 6th, the FCM annual conference in Edmonton, and while I was there on June 4th, I met with senior representatives from the Ministry of Arts, Culture and Status of Women, including the new ADM who will be responsible for the FCSS program, given that it has now transitioned to that ministry along with low-income transit and food security. And that's all for me.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. On June 3rd to 7th, I attended the FCM conference. Representing AB Munis, I had a virtual board meeting on the 28th of May, and on the 29th, I brought greetings from AB Munis to the FCSS regional meeting here in Bonnyville. And that's it.
Okay, we got to go a little bit back because I was not here the last meeting. So May 13th, we went on a tour to the Meadow Lake Rec Facility. May 14th, an Alberta Winter Games meeting. May 20th, the Lakeland Lodge and Housing meeting. The 21st, a Water Commission meeting. On the 22nd, I attended the Public Works Open House. They did a great job. And the 25th of May, a C2 meeting. On the 26th of May, attended an ICF meeting. Now, on to June the 2nd, I attended in place of our mayor, the RPAP meeting in Smoky Lake, which was great to have people from all over the North region attend and discuss some of the challenges they have in the healthcare field. On the 3rd, I had another Alberta Winter Games meeting. I do believe they will be coming to see us the next meeting, I believe, as a delegation. To talk about how the event is closing out and some of the successes that we've had. And then the FCM conference from the 3rd to the 6th. That is all.
Okay, thank you. For myself, on May 27th, I attended a luncheon at the hospital to welcome some international nurses, 2 of them who have just arrived and will be working here for a couple of months. So hopefully they like it and they stay. They had their families. I was really happy to see FCSS there to see how they can help out and offer any support. So that was really nice. On the 28th, I attended HEB school and talked to grade 6 students about municipal politics. Then I also brought greetings to the Northeast Regional Gathering for FCSSAA. And then from there, went straight to Goodfish Lake, where myself and Deputy Mayor participated in the event celebrating 50 years of the Goodfish Lake Business Corporation. I just want to say, I think it was really great that we got the invitation. We were able to go. There was a lot of people there. We were pretty much the only municipality, but there was representation from CNRL, Imperial Oil, Syncrude, Suncor, Indigenous Resources, Alberta Indigenous Opportunities Corporation, Portage College. So I think it went a long way for us to have a presence there. And also congratulations to the Goodfish Lake Business Corporation on 50 years. June 2nd, I attended a strategic planning session for the Faculty Saint-Jean, Campus Saint-Jean in Edmonton on behalf of ABMA. And then on June 3rd, I had a couple meetings for ABMA. One is a project that we're working with the French Cultural Center in St. Paul. And then in the afternoon, I had a project meeting with the MRC Montmagny on our mission that's coming up here in the fall. Then FCM June 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. And then on June 8th, I had, along with Deputy and CAO, a meeting with MLAs here. Thank you.
Okay, May 27th, along with Madam Mayor, we did have the luncheon at the Bonneville Health Center with the international nurses. Good to see them. They're very excited, so hopefully they'll stick around, just like Madam Mayor was saying. On the 28th, along with Madam Mayor again, we went to the FCSSAA. She brought greetings there, and then we went to Goodfish Lake Business Corp. I echo her thoughts completely. There was also PIMI Well Servicing was there, Prism Energy was there. It's pretty amazing, actually. I had no idea that they were there for 50 years and the things that they do there. And now they're branching out in different ways. So it was very, very well attended, and I was glad we were there. June 3rd to the 7th, we had FCM in Edmonton. That was very well attended. A lot of those businesses we were talking about in Goodfish Lake were at FCM as well. So that worked out very well. And then on June 8th, I had a meeting as well with MLA Sear. That's it.
All right, for me, May 28th, I went out in the evening to the FCSSAA Northeast Gathering, did a little networking out there. June 4th to 7th, I was at FCM in Edmonton, and June the 8th, I had a Ohana Center meeting, which was last night, and that's all for me.
Thank you. Okay, moving on, we do have a proclamation, whereas Recreation and Parks in Bonnyville enhance quality of life by promoting active living, leisure opportunities, and lifelong learning, help residents live healthier and long lives, and support the development of confidence, creativity, and positive lifestyles for children, youth, and families. And whereas the town of Bonnyville, in collaboration with community organizations, volunteers, and regional partners, is committed to providing accessible, inclusive, and high-quality recreation and park services for all. The town of Bonnyville now proclaims that the month of June 2026 marks the beginning of the summer season, and increased outdoor activity is recognized as June is Recreation and Parks Month in the town of Bonnyville. We encourage all residents to participate in and celebrate the many benefits of recreation and parks throughout the community. All right, and then we have our community and organization funding up to June 3rd. And any questions for administration? Councillor Langridge?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I only have 3 tonight, so not too bad. I'm going to pick on Brad too, so. They're easy, don't worry, Brad. Can we get an update on where we're at with the Area 2 project?
Well, I have the Area 2 project. So I have their schedule in front of me here. And it says they're topsoiling in front of the head walls today. They're tying in the boardwalks into the head walls tomorrow. So like the wooden boardwalks should be tied in tomorrow. They're going to subgrade prep the trails next week and hope to pave it at the end of next week, weather dependent. So
Okay, no, that's good. I know they've been fighting weather. I've just seen people that have been jumping on to the wharfs and starting their fishing season, so I wouldn't want to see anybody get hurt, so I just want to make sure that hopefully we have that wrapped up as soon as possible.
residents have been very patient.
Second one, when we do our sidewalk program, what kind of warranty comes on our sidewalks?
For any of our construction, we get 2 years of full warranty. So
And have we ever communicated to our residents? Because like, as you walk, and everybody's out walking, you see some of the brand new sidewalks that are pitted most likely by sidewalk salt. Have we ever like communicated to our residents of what type of sidewalk salt should be used? So we're not, because to me, it's like, I guarantee you, if we go back to that for warranty, they're going to say this was your fault.
So, it usually ends up in a fight, because for the cause of the damage, whether it's third party or, inadequate cement, like there's usually an argument there. And as far as resident education, so we haven't taken like a, you know, a full-bodied approach on that, but typically when we get a call, we'll advise them kind of there and then, you know, case by case. Ultimately depending on the circumstances as well.
Okay, no, I appreciate that. And the last one is, and I don't know if any of these improvements were earmarked on our roads repair program, but do we have an update on what's going on with 46th Street north of 50th Avenue?
Thank you for asking. Yeah, so both of those patches are in this program, so.
Okay,
So we're ultimately, like, we had a discussion today, and we're gonna patch it. We're gonna get to it before and just make sure it's safe and drivable for the finished patch this summer.
I'm sure everyone will be excited to see that, so thank you very much.
Welcome.
And if I may, Madam Mayor, I would also add that when we drove it today, we had identified some of those key areas that needed to be addressed immediately. So we are going to be addressing those as soon as we can here in the next week and a half, just to tide over. But main reason why we don't want to put a lot of effort into it right now is just we're going to be tearing it all out. So it'll just be a cost incurred that we're going to lose, and we won't be able to recuperate after it's done. So we just want to be mindful that if we are going to put it out and we are getting this company to come in, we want them to do it properly. But we also don't want to waste a lot of resources in that time up to that construction period as well. So.
Okay, any other questions for administration? We have a couple items in camera. If I can get a motion, please, Councillor Kushner.
I'll give you the motion to go in camera.